All right. Hi, YouTube. I'm just getting organized over on Facebook and we're almost live. Here we go. Hello, Book of Face. Hello, YouTube. It is your daily live to thrive. Now, we might go over 5 minutes. I'm not too concerned about tracking the time too much with this topic because I think it's really important. So, give me some love or write in the comments and let me know if you're there or not. If you're not, you won't. So, anyway, let's let's get back on topic, right? So I wanted to do a live. I sent a message out to my mailing list today, and you know. As Australia's happiness coach, my goal is to be a leader around helping people manage in times of anxiety, of stress, worry. If you're high functioning, depressed personality type, I'm here to help and support you. And with everything that's going on, I'm seeing two kinds of people. There's the people that are falling apart, or there's the people that are being strong. And I consider myself quite a strong person, but I have to be honest with you, my online friends. Last night, I had a little cry. Um, I see people's pain, people's worry online, and I feel it. I feel it because I know right now I'm in a bit of a precarious position myself with my finances. Been having a little bit too much fun with the promo work and not really doing enough stuff with my business. So, lesson learned for me. But I also have my mother and family and friends who are immune compromised. So having limited contact with them, and especially now with Victoria in lockdown and my mother lives interstate, it's quite a stressful situation because you don't know when you're going to see them again, if you're going to be healthy to be able to go and see them. And going into lockdown is obviously the right thing to do, and maintaining social distancing, but it still sucks and it still triggers a lot of anxiety, not just for me, but I know for a lot of people out there. So I really wanted to talk about that. As Craig says in the comments, it's a struggle, right? But does it have to be an ongoing struggle? Now, for me last night, if you're on my mailing list, you will have an email that says this, but last night I actually had a cigarette and I sat out on the back step and I allowed myself to feel the feelings of this situation. And I actually quit smoking 10 years ago. But once a smoker, you always have that neural pathway, right? So it's not a habit I'm wanting to take up again. But yesterday I gave myself permission. Last night I gave myself permission. And I did actually sit there and I did think to myself, what if everything is not okay? And I don't know if anyone else who's watching this is feeling the same as well or has had these thoughts, but it's natural. It is totally okay to think these thoughts. There's the whole, you've got to be high vibe all the time. But I think you also need to feel whatever it is you need to feel. But there needs to be a point where you go, okay, what do I do now? What is my next step? Because staying in the space of anxiety, stress, worry, or depression doesn't actually help you create solutions. It sinks you even further down into the mud. So there's a saying, what I focus on expands. And that is so true because your brain, if you are constantly focused on this is bad, I'm stressed, I've got no way out, your brain will only be able to see that for you. So what I'm really wanting to convey in this live for you, it's okay to feel how you feel. What we need to do though is make sure that we don't wallow in it and get stuck in it, that we have a way to reset. So, I've done a lot of study and a lot of work around this. So I was able to pull myself out of it after giving myself permission to feel all the feelings of feeling quite vulnerable in my situation. But I also knew that I couldn't stay in this situation. So I made some very big decisions. I took some really practical actions today to offset the anxiety, because the anxiety was being triggered by the uh, I don't know what's going to happen thoughts, imagining the worst case scenario thoughts. And I'm pretty sure we've all, the $70 per packet, I didn't buy them. I just borrowed somebody's cigarette. So I didn't actually pay for the cigarette. Um, but we've all had these thoughts, right? So anxiety is the fear of the unknown. It's triggered by the worry and it's triggered by the doubt. So what I really want to encourage everybody to do is start thinking, what are some really practical steps that I can take in my current situation? So yes, I have a business. At the moment, it's not doing so great. So I went to Centrelink. I had a look at my living situation. I'm a renter. I live on my own. All the costs and everything are mine. What can I do about that? Can I go stay with somebody else? Do I need to give notice? Can I get in a housemate? I reviewed my cash flow and I reviewed it from a very, very honest space. But I made some really big decisions today. And these are the decisions that I really want other people to start focusing on. Start focusing on the belief that I'm going to be okay, that in all of this, I'm going to be okay. For me, it's my family, my friends, and my clients. They will be supported in this. I will be able to support them. I reminded myself that I am a strong woman. I've gone through a lot and I'm still here. I have all the evidence in the world to demonstrate that I am a survivor and that I have gotten through this and I will get through everything else that comes along with this. It may not necessarily come the way that I want it to, but getting stuck on things having to be one way is very limiting, because then if it doesn't go that way, the anxiety and the stress and everything triggers back in. Um, but the biggest thing is I reminded myself that I'm allowed to be human as well. I'm allowed to have the feelings, but I also recognize that sitting in the space and wallowing, and I gave myself 5 minutes to have a pity party last night. Long term, staying in that space doesn't help. So there's a spiritual law of cause and effect. So I was at effect last night. Everything was happening to me. I had no control. I was disempowered. I sucked. I'd made bad decisions on what I did with my money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so I moved myself back to cause. And I'm taking radical responsibility for the decisions that I've made that have gotten me in this situation. And I'm going to take radical responsibility around creating change and making something different, and make sure I'm ascribing the most empowered meaning that I can with my values and my beliefs to everything that is happening around me. So if you are feeling anxious, I've revamped what I'm doing for my Supercharge Your Happy experience, which starts next week. 2 bottles of wine. That's helping you, Craig. I'm not a huge wine drinker these days. But I'm revamping the Supercharge Your Happy experience. So if you are feeling anxiety, stress, concerned, worry, and it's free to do, I really want to encourage you to sign up for it. And I'll put the sign up link in the comments. But for 5 days, I'm going to be taking you through processes and things that I use to keep me grounded and to not necessarily fall apart, which if this had happened 5 years ago, I would be a completely different person. So for those of you that are really struggling under the weight and stress and anxiety of everything that's happening, I see you there. I feel you there. I'm in a similar situation. I suggest that you get what knowledge you need about what's going on and then turn off the television, Stop drowning in all of the fear that's getting fed around at the moment with this. We know that it's bad. We know what it is. We know all of the things, but sitting in the space and wallowing in it is not going to help. Definitely not going to help you if you have huge amounts of anxiety. Um, so come and do the Supercharge Your Happy challenge with me. Totally free to do. Um, and let's get everybody who is not feeling so good at the moment, let's get everyone stepping up and feeling better. Because also being in isolation and being limited and feeling stuck in your environment, that can translate out through your feelings and create this whole feeling of stuckedness, if that's a word. But I want you to know that you are supported. Media is the drain, says Craig in the comments. Yes, it is. And so I make a point of just knowing what I need to know and hitting the frog and toad and getting out of there. So even with the time I spend on Facebook, not so much, but I do check Messenger. So if you need me, shoot me through a message, right? It may feel hopeless right now, but get back to cause. Do what you can. Wash your hands. Spatial distancing, I read somewhere, is what it should be called. Reach out to people if you're not feeling great. Take the actions. Like, it sucks. Like Centrelink right now, getting online to the site and going to the office, like it's painful if you let it be. So I was there for 2 hours today for like a 5-minute conversation, right? But it was nobody's fault. And I decided to use that time to meditate and to really feel into what it is that I want to create moving forward with my life. Um, you know, Cash flow is what it is. So I'm doing little offers, free things, fun things. So any parents, if you're watching this, keep an eye out for the kids craft that we're going to be running online soon too. But do the things that feed your soul. And this is something that I'm going to be talking about in the Supercharge Your Happy experience. Feeding your soul right now is a really powerful time for you to transform who you are in here, because when you do that, what you see out there can't help but transform as well. So here endeth the daily thrive. I'm nowhere near 5 minutes. It is scary times, but there's always something that you can do, right? Even if it's just something for yourself. So I'm going to switch off from YouTube. Thanks for watching YouTube. YouTube is